Janet, and for this week's tag, I'm going to be working with items out of this bag, which is a mid-century modern bag from Betty's Bits and Bobs, and it is authentic vintage crafting supplies and papers. So here's what the bag looks like. It's a quite large bag, and I've already pulled a few pieces out. So let me bring those over and show you what I am working with. And I've grabbed a few things of my own. I have some green paper here that I have printed or, done some inking or sampling with. I have my tag, and then all of these pieces here came out of the vintage package. And so here's a little card, a greeting card. This is a quality crest card. Kind of reminds me of Holly Hobby in a way, but I thought I would use some of the checker there. And then this one really caught my eye because I used to go to the A&P with my great aunt, and so I thought that would be fun to put on the card as well. And then here are the little stamps that you paste onto here. I believe these are the right ones, and this reminds me of green stamps. I don't even know if that's what these are, but I grabbed those out because coordinating with the green and the vintage. And then I grabbed this book page out. Looks like maybe from a dictionary that I thought we could also use for the background. So I'm going to stick all of my pieces down using some nori paste from Yasutomo because it doesn't wrinkle. It is slow drying, so it makes it repositionable, but yeah, so that's, I kind of want to get the A&P right here at the bottom of the tag, and then we can go from there. So I think something along those lines that we need to cut or tear. Let's just see what happens if we do some rough torn edges maybe. It'd be kind of nice to tear everything for the tag if that's possible. I'm looking to see here if I can do that. So that could go on there. I like the idea of these little stamps, but I don't want to use them all, so I'm going to rip off a few here. Maybe do something with that. I like the idea of, well, we could even use this. Let's just do that. We can use this as our background here. We do need to get some green in there, so just share some of this. Let's see. So just kind of building up idea. And I think with this, I may have to cut this one. What if we did a decorative cut? So something along these lines. I like the look here. All right, so let's start with this. I want to get it right around there. Give it the edge, let it know where the edge is. Now this seems very old because it is easily tearing on me. So, all right, we're going to get into our paste here, and let's just start building. And I'm going to grab I don't know, tongue depressor, popsicle stick. I'm not sure what you call these. But I'm just going to use that to spread out this paste nice and thin, and I can be really careful with the paper because I do hear it tearing. It's great glue for collaging. I'm just going to wrap that around the edge, and there. Okay. And this down here we're not going to use, so I can just rip that off. All right. And let's just continue on here with our paste. Got a little dry flake there from the edge. Okay. The tongue depressor is making a really nice way to get our glue down. Well, we are making a little bit of a mess on our glass mat. That's okay. I don't mind having to clean up. I have not done the tongue depressor before, but I'm finding that I'm actually liking how that's working. It's a really nice application there. All right, I'm starting to run out of glass mat area here to put glue on. I'm going to move that up a little bit because I really want to make sure I've got that logo on there. So that's fun. All right, I feel like I need to maybe let this dry just a little bit before we move on. I'm going to go ahead and cut down the hangover from the back so we have a better visual of what things are looking like on the front. And I do feel the moisture. I still feel the moisture here. And so actually cutting some of this can be a little difficult because of the moisture in the paper from the glue. All right, so I have pulled out a stencil. I've put it on top of my tag. And I'm thinking we could go in with paste, and I'm trying to decide if I want to do paste or spray. Because I have this shiny spray, I thought we could wipe over the stencil. Let me look at my paste here for a second. All right, so I went ahead and grabbed this spearmint color of paste out. That's what it looks like. So I thought I'd just go ahead and use the other end of my tongue depressor here and grab some of that out. And let's see what happens if we just put some on here. All right, is that enough? I think just a little bit like that will be enough. Since I have my spray open, let's just go ahead and take some of that and see if we can get a few drops on here. There we go. All right, so now all of this is going to have to dry. To finish this one off, I am using some DIY ribbon, and it also creates threads. So I've put those on my tag, and now I'm going to go in with some wet glue, some art glitter glue, because I need some extra thickness of glue to hold those threads down. So I'm going to use this little sticker piece, or stamps, I guess they are, to kind of hold that thread in place. And then we'll go ahead and add our tag, or our ribbon, I guess, to the tag is what I'm trying to say here. There. And then all we need to do is take our scissors and clean up any of those little threads that are... Here's a loop, so I'm going to cut that so it becomes... And here's a loop. I'm going to cut that. And then this one I feel is a little too long. I don't mind them hanging off the page, but I don't want them to be so terribly long. So there. I think I have a loop there. I think we'll go ahead and leave that one. Yeah. So there is our vintage tag.